Hi there, Jonathan Richter, founder of Richter Guitar here. Today we're going to talk about Flamenco Rasgueados or Rasgueados, flamenco strumming patterns. So I am by no means a flamenco guitarist by birth or anything like that. However, I am a flamenco aficionado. I've learned a lot of flamenco techniques and pieces, and I absolutely love the genre and the style. So today I would love to show you my go-to patterns, my go-to strumming resources for how to build up strong rasgueados, especially if you come from a different background, classical guitar, or just some other finger picking pattern, or maybe none at all. It's a very different motion than what we're used to with finger picking, where we're very used to going in, pulling the sound inward. Flamenco Rasgueados and strumming is all about out, out, out. So we're going to be developing some brand new muscles. Therefore, we should take it really slow and have a really effective method for doing it. So if you've already learned the other basic strum that I've taught using just the index finger, I mentioned earlier that we want those other fingers to kind of hang loose. And we want that because we want to be able to pull them back in so that they have momentum to launch out. So we want to still do the same kind of idea, the same flick out motion that we're doing with the index finger, but with all of these other fingers. So let's just take a look at what a rasgueado is, what a flamenco strum is. The first one we're going to look at is a 3-stroke rasgueado. Here's how it sounds. So you could hear the little triplet effect going on there. One thing you can do is actually mute all the other strings with your left hand. Do you hear that little galloping kind of sound, that little triplet? Every single finger is super articulate. Triplet, triplet. Not just 2 or something like that. It's each finger distinctly launching outwards. So how do we do that? How do we actually practice doing something like that? Here's my go-to pattern. We're going to go over an A minor chord and just follow along. I'm going to show you once and then I'll count you in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once again, 1 and 2 and. Pull all the fingers up and then 3 and 4 and. I know it's kind of unique that we have that little upstroke with the index finger. That will come into play later though, so just trust me on this. Follow along with that pattern. We're going to do 1 and 2 and, they all come out, and then 3 and 4 and. And that's going to be launching out ring finger, middle finger, index finger. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. How did that feel? Probably like a pretty different feeling, maybe a little bit foreign sounding, but hopefully not too bad, right? We're doing it in a very controlled motion, a very controlled environment. Eventually, we want that 3 and 4 and, that little 3-beat cycle to be condensed down into 1 beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. You hear how articulate that is? That only comes with doing very long-term, deliberate practicing like this. The next rasgueado is a 4-stroke rasgueado. How do we do that one? Well, we're going to incorporate the pinky. I know. Your pinky is really short, it's really weak. How is it going to launch out and have a really strong effect? Well, I'm here to tell you it's maybe okay if it doesn't go completely across all the strings. Do your best. It's really more of a textural thing. So again, if we listen to the 3-stroke rasgueado, 1 and 2 and 3 and, like that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's listen to the 4-stroke rasgueado, 1 and 2 and, versus quadruplet. Sound familiar? A little bit militaristic. Let's practice this one over an A minor chord and hear the difference. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're going to practice it like that this time. So it will be sort of a downstroke twice in a row. That's totally okay. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that is how you practice the 4-stroke Rasgueado. I will say the 3-stroke, way more common. That's the one you're going to come across the most often. However, 4-stroke Rasgueado, it's right after that. It's a good one to practice. Now there's one more in line with this, the 5-stroke Rasgueado. This one is a little bit intense. How do we do 5 strokes? Well, you might think we would use thumb. We're not going to use thumb for it. We're actually going to use index twice in a row. So with the 4-stroke Rasgueado, it's just pinky, A, M, I. And then with the 5-stroke, it's going to be pinky, A, M, I, back up. So the resulting sound is this. It's kind of got a cool sound. If you want a little pause after. It's really awesome to follow it up with just 2 downstrokes afterwards. Solia context. I actually recommend for the 5-stroke Rasgueado, just practice going 1 finger at a time. Pinky, A, M, I. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you really want to do it in a 4 count, you could do it like this. We'll go on the subdivisions of 3. So 3 will be a downstroke, and then we'll do 3 E and A. But it's going to be a little bit different than the others. Let's give it a shot. 1 and 2 and 3 E and A 4. When it comes to the 5-stroke Rasgueado, it's really a fan outward motion that just takes a lot of time and patience. There's really no other better way to practice it than just doing it finger by finger. You definitely want the 3-stroke down, absolutely want that 4-stroke down so that you have that pinky activated. Otherwise, the 5-stroke Rasgueado is just going to sound really muddy and just sound like, you know, a couple strokes at once. So Rasgueados can really add a lot to your playing. If you're wondering where you should start incorporating it, a really safe bet is to start incorporating it on the first beat. So let's say we were just practicing some of those other common chord shapes, A minor to E7. Well, instead of just going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you could start it off with a Rasgueado. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm doing a 4-stroke here. You could also do it on beat 1 and beat 3, for instance. I'm gonna go a little faster now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Or you could just wait for a really special moment. Maybe you want to build anticipation and do it just on beat 3, for instance. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... So that's a little bit of how you can start to incorporate those Rasgueados. If you already know your basic chords, or if you're just doing a bunch of chord practice, totally recommend that you throw this in the mix. It can make a huge difference, make it way more exciting, and I'm telling you, you don't have to be super advanced to start applying this, and people are going to be blown away. They will not be able to believe that you've only been playing guitar for maybe in some cases just a few months even, and you're already able to do some of these cool fancy strums and rasgueados. So number one thing to remember, definitely just keep this beat solid. And then just think about replacing one of them with a rasgueado. Don't drive everyone in your house crazy. Your rasgueados are gonna sound bad for the first couple months. They just are. It's kind of like the bar chords or just anything else that we do on guitar, right? Especially with rasgueados, they're just not gonna sound super crisp. We really want to hear the articulation of every single finger. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what separates people who have really put in the time doing this practice to just the people who kind of are willing to let it get sloppy and never really focus on the articulation. So really have fun with this, go wild with it. Maybe you do a rasgueado on a special beat, or you can just do it on beat one. You want to condense it down to that one beat though, and just make sure it's super crisp, super clean, super even. There's a whole wide world of flamenco resources out there. I have a ton of it on my website, richterguitar.com. You can also check out Flamenco Explained, and I definitely recommend you pick up some of the books by Juan Martin. He is the OG of flamenco guitar teaching in terms of video lessons and everything else, especially if you're coming from a classical background or just a finger picking background and you wanted to learn how to do this. That's the basics. That's how I recommend you get started. Just do these exercises for a couple months, and honestly, you're going to start getting the hang of it, and you can start diving into some actual flamenco pieces with some authority. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.